morning from this most beautiful little yurt. So I'm pretty sure I've found the spot we might live if we ever move back to England, which could definitely be on the cards. It's a place that I saw online when I was researching retreat centres, and it's called Wild Northumbria. And I remember first seeing it online and being like, this is amazing. And I hadn't actually been here obviously by the time this weekend came around, so I just basically turned up with 12 other women to spend the weekend here, and it is everything I hoped it would be. I think it must be one of the wildest places in England. It really is in the middle of nowhere, and it's just surrounded by moors. It's a dark sky, so last night after we let the campfire die down, we could just look up and see a sky that pretty much had as many stars as it does at our home in New Zealand. I just thought, if we were to try and live our life here in England, it would have to be somewhere as wild as this. And there's yurts up trees and outdoor bars. It's honestly just the most blissful place ever. We've just spent the weekend sharing our stories, singing songs, dancing around the fire, just enjoying that sense of wild and connection to the outdoors that we found here in this place amongst all of the yurts and the shepherd huts. This is the Treehouse Yurt. So we're about to head into our last session now, which is a session that we do based on Joanna Macy's work, who is an incredible deep ecologist. And it's about bringing together this idea that much of the stuff that needs healing within us is intimately related to the destruction of the earth. Like, the earth's pain is our pain, and it doesn't make very much sense to try and address some of the emotional things we're dealing with or triggers without actually looking at the really big picture of our greater body, our home, the earth. Loads of the issues we're dealing with in 2019, 2018, injustices, oppressions, are to do with a really deep subconscious denial of what we're doing to the earth, because we're so intimately related to it. It's kind of like suppressed pain about what is happening to our wider environment. So Joanna Macy's work is about giving voice to some of that grief and despair, frustration and pain, and then also exercises to really build a sort of active hope within our hearts for the future. And that last one, the active hope building, is a really amazing story for me about how I found it, because I was just flicking and ting ting ting, brrr, poof, 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 fireworks in the universe. It's quite a long-winded story, basically to make the point that I really believe in a mysterious side to this world. I think there is stuff going on all around us all the time, and for me, tapping into that stuff, for want of a better word, is fuel for my fire, for all of the work that I do, all of my activism, all of my parenting. Someone recently messaged and said, can you do a self-care thing for mums, you know, top 3 self-care things? And I have to say that nearly all of my self-care rituals are around my spirituality. By spirituality, I simply mean the sense of connectedness to myself and my authentic being in the earth, and my sense of connectedness to my greater body, the earth, and my sense of connectedness to other people and the other out there. Now, at different times I'm bad at this or good at this, but I really do try and make a priority to nurture all of those parts of myself. I do that through praying, through journaling, through writing, through dance, through singing. Try and do all of those things as much out in the natural world as possible. So often when I'm walking through the forest, I'll greet the forest as I go. I'll touch the trees. You know, the trees change their communication with the earth when you stroke them or bang them or speak to them. So they are emitting constantly a sort of sound, and when you stroke them, that sound changes. My friend's got like a tree speaker. It's got an official name, but how cool is that? So yeah, when I'm walking through the forest, I try and greet everything, and then I might put my headphones on and just have a dance, or I might have a sing or sit down and journal. And that kind of spiritual element to my life is such a crucial part of all of my outputs really. I can't really imagine trying to be an activist without having this really deep sense of connectedness to the earth and that mystery that is out there. For me, I guess it's about this growing sense of oneness that I have with our greater body, earth, and this growing sense of oneness I have with other humans, and it's like a sort of golden thread that is just weaving us all together. And for me, nurturing that golden thread and letting it glow into my own life is one of the things that I really try and do a lot of. And I have to say, it doesn't come that easy to me. I think my personality or my character is very much like, go, go, go. I'm 100% an entrepreneur mind and busy energy. Like when I'm sitting down, I'm basically constantly shaking my leg like this because I just have all this energy. And so it's not like I'm naturally a sort of spiritual meditative monk in any way. I'm someone that is constantly, could do this, we could do that, why don't I do that, I'm gonna do that. But trying to hold on to that kind of golden thread, and I guess that's why my spirituality isn't often just kind of like it is getting out into nature and dancing and singing. It's like a really sort of active spirituality. Yeah, as I get older, I'm just increasingly feeling the freedom to have a spirituality that actually matches up to my kind of energy levels. Yeah, so if you are an activist or just a busy parent, but you really try and nurture this spirituality, I'd love to hear from you. My comments are still disabled, which is bananas, but if you can connect with me on Instagram or Facebook, that would be awesome. I'd love to hear how you bring in a spirituality and how that is fuel for your fire. Wherever you are in the world, much love to you and stay radical. Mwah!